Gitonga Murugara. Are you on this? Murugara, are you on this? But the Majority Leader, I cannot see your card, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Mr.
This chance, Murugara, your chance was lost because you're busy. So you allow the Majority Leader to go first, then you'll go after.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your indulgence. The Deputy Speaker is saying I never have a card. I usually have a card, only that because of these crowds that were crowding here, I don't know who took the card. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this motion on the adoption of the medium-term debt management strategy. And particularly, Honorable Speaker, I want to speak to a few things, policy propositions or policy resolutions that the committee has noted, which I fully concur with. And one is on automation, Honorable Speaker. And if you look at some of the policy resolutions, they say that the Cabinet Secretary from the National Treasury, the Governor Central Bank, and the Controller of Budget should fully automate the withdrawal of debt service payments from the Consolidated Fund by the 31st of May this year and submit a report to the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I want to support that because part of the problems why we cannot get accurate data on our debt indebtedness as a country is because we have not fully automated our debt management processes. Therefore, if you look at that together with the other proposal there, that in order to strengthen financial controls, we ensure accurate and timely debt management statistics and enhance decision-making for greater transparency and accountability. And again, they're asking that the National Treasury must or should integrate the public debt management system with the IFMI system, or the Integrated Financial Management System, again by 31st of May this year, and submit a report to the National Assembly within 15 days after the integration of the two systems. Honorable Speaker, it's become customary for this House to pass policy resolutions for enactment or for implementation by the National Treasury, and most of which they tend to ignore. And I want to tell them, Honorable Speaker, from these policy resolutions, there is reason and need to automate all our systems. And the integration of the IFMI system and the debt management system is critical in ensuring that we have accurate, timely data on our total indebtedness as a country. And at the same time, Honorable Speaker, in that the automation of the debt payment systems from the Consolidated Fund Services, so that at any one particular time at the touch of a button, any officer in Treasury, at the request of the National Assembly or indeed any other oversight authority, can be able to tell how much has been paid out of our Consolidated Fund towards debt settlement, how much do we expect to pay in terms of the interest that we are servicing for debt, Honorable Speaker, and all these things will be possible with automation. Honorable Speaker, the third thing that I want to speak to is a question of the single treasury account. And again, I note, Honorable Speaker, the committee has proposed that in order to mitigate the growing risk of domestic debt interest payments and to reduce the tendency of the government borrowing funds held by public entities, the National Treasury should deploy the single treasury account for all MDAs, parastatals, and public funds by 1st of July 2025. Honorable Speaker, allow me to speak to this in relation also to a directive that His Excellency the President gave during the State of the Nation address last year. Because previously, I think former President...
Honorable Kangogo, I will not tire reminding you, I came to this House on 28th March 2013. You and the person speaking now. You can't be between him and the Speaker when he's contributing. You can't be.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Pukosa says Honorable Kangogo is very mobile today. I do not know whether there are cows that have disappeared somewhere in Marakwet East. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, I think during the last Parliament, the then President Uhuru Kenyatta, at one point also directed that the National Treasury does actualize the single treasury account, and this never happens. Now it has been done through a resolution of the House that National Treasury has no choice but to actualize the single treasury account. Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the President was saying during the State of the Nation address, directed that by the 30th of April this year, the question of public procurement must be sorted out through e-procurement and ensuring that e-procurement of the interruptions. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. 1 minute for the interruptions. I was saying that directive by the President has about another 1.5 months to go. The National Treasury must also, in line with the directive by the President, ensure that e-procurement becomes a reality at the end of this first quarter. And by the time the National Treasury is bringing their annual estimates at the 31st or 30th or thereabout of April, they must also report to the House whether they have made the e-procurement a reality, as they report by May 31st on the automation of the IFMI system and the debt management system, Honorable Speaker, and also the single treasury account, because if there is a place that has become an avenue for corruption, is the question of funds being held by MDAs, ministries, and state agencies going to solicit for bribes, Honorable Speaker, so that they can bank in particular banks. And that is where you find many MDAs, you find them queuing, bank managers queuing in state departments and parastatals. Many parastatals are holding huge amounts of money, Honorable Speaker, in bank accounts, earning small interest. And the same money then is given to government in terms of domestic public debt. There is no reason why we should be borrowing. Government should be borrowing its own money. And we must ensure that the single National Treasury account becomes a reality, so that even when we borrow money, Honorable Speaker, we are not borrowing our own money. There is absolutely no reason why an MDA should bank in a commercial bank, earn interest of 4-5%, then we go back as government and borrow the same money from the market at 11-12%, Honorable Speaker. It is not right, and we must ensure it does not happen. And I say this, I hope the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury, the Honorable John Mbadi, who is a former member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and a former member of this House, is listening to me, and the PS Kiptoo. They must actualize the single treasury account. The automation that the House is resolving through these policy resolutions must not just be talk and resolutions here, they must be actualized. And may I remind them, as the President directed, by the end of the first quarter, we expect to see e-procurement in place, as was directed during the State of the Nation address. I beg to support.
No, before you sit, what will happen to them if they don't do it? Because this is not the first time we have this single account. What will happen to them if they don't do it?
Honorable Speaker, it is not up to me to say what will happen to them if they do not do. But if the appointing authority has publicly pronounced itself...
No. This is now going to be a House
resolution. And the House resolutions,
yes,
Honorable Speaker, are in writing. These resolutions are given to the National Treasury upon approval by the House. When they receive them, they will know they can start counting days to the 31st of May and July for the actualization of the single treasury account. If they do not do it, then they will know that we have teeth to bite. Those who have refused and threatened members of parliament by the roadsides have seen what happens.
Now you can have your chance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to rise and support the adoption of the report of the Liaison Committee on its consideration of the medium-term debt management system, which we have dealt with this afternoon. Honorable Speaker, it is extremely important for this House to know that it is supposed to control the debt of the country, and that in place it should be a management system which is easy to comprehend and which is understandable to the House. The problem we have in the country is that many people think